Hi everybody, John here with Cruiser Customizing. Today we're going to install a set of Kuryakyn's clamp-on driving lights on our 2016 Indian Scout. These lights and all of Kuryakyn's products can be found at cruisercustomizing.com. To get started here, I'm going to go ahead and remove the headlight. This has a glass lens on it. Since I'm going to be wrenching on things in the general area, I just wanted to get it off and out of my way. That way we prevent any damage while I'm mounting everything up for these new driving lights. So there's just a screw at the bottom, little gentle pull there, and it pops right out. And there's a connector on the back of the headlight, and also the power source leads that we'll be using for our driving lights are right here. Just unplug those. And now I'm just going to set this off to the side, get it out of the way. With everything out of the way, now I can verify that 12-volt source. Before we can attach the lights to the fork tubes, we need to put on the mounting bracket. If you notice, the mounting bracket has a small cutout in the back. That's actually for the wire to come down through. So whenever you tighten up the nut that holds the light onto the bracket, you're not going to cause any fraying or cuts in the wire itself. So we'll go ahead and run that through here real quick. And we'll position that towards the back. Then there's a small rounded spacer. Make sure the rounded side goes to the bottom. That's going to keep everything nice and flush. And then there's a nut that goes right on top of that. Just take our socket here and get that started. If you notice right at the base of the mount, there's a hole. You can run the wire right through there. And on the back of the mounting clamp, there's actually a channel that runs through the clamp, and then the wire can run right out the back. So whenever you go to install these, it gives everything a very, very clean look. You won't see any of the exposed wiring. Depending on the size of your fork tubes, you're probably going to need one of the adapters that's included in the kit. We actually opted for the thinner adapters here. These are made of aluminum. They're just a C shape, so all you have to do, use a little elbow grease, bend those guys apart, and they'll slip right over the fork tubes, and then give them a little pinch back together. And that's going to give you the proper spacing for the mounting bracket that goes around the fork tube. Now comes the fun part. We get to mount the lights to the bike. So just grab your adapter plate there, and this guy will just kind of snap into place. Now be really careful. Make sure you keep the wire out of the way while you do all of this, and make sure it's going to drop into the channel for the back of that mounting bracket. So I'll go ahead and lace it through that hole there. And then to hold everything in place, there's actually just some hex head screws. We'll go ahead and get those started. Now we're going to go ahead and run the wiring into the back of the headlight housing here. On this model, it makes it really easy because it just follows the lines of the factory wiring harness. Once everything's pulled up into the side here, we can actually just grab an electrical connector, put it on there, and crimp it into place. Since this is a brand new motorcycle, and it'll be sold to a customer after we're finished with these little custom touches, I didn't want to touch the factory wiring harness. So what I did was just trim a little bit of the excess wire that came on the accessory lights, and I just made a quick little pigtail system that will plug right into the factory harness, and each one of these plugs actually has a plastic encasement around it, so it doesn't require any shrink wrap or anything. We'll just put some dielectric grease on there when we install it. and then you can plug the new pigtails onto there. The only thing we will have to do is take the headlight accessory wiring harness. This is just a very short harness that goes to that accessory light that's in the bottom of the headlight. And we'll just change out one of the connectors on that. So if you ever wanted to go back to 100% original, the only thing you would have to do is replace this very short wire that just runs that accessory light. And since this system is already fused through the fuse block on the bike, and this power source already has a fuse built into it, we won't need any type of fusible link within our new wiring system because it's just going to piggyback off of that system that's already there. I went ahead and left all these wires really long just in case the new owner of this motorcycle might ever want to change the layout of the lights or hook it up to some type of relay. So we'll go ahead and reinstall the headlight here. All right, we have everything installed, so let's give it a test. And they work, awesome. So as you can see, this install is not very difficult. You just run some wires, hook the lights up to the fork tubes. If you do a little pre-planning ahead of time, it makes everything go a little bit smoother. So find out what source you're going to use for the power. Go ahead and mock these up, make sure that they're going to fit on the fork tubes the way you want them. After you get everything installed, you make sure they work, take them outside. Make sure everything's lined up where you want it. If it's not, the lights themselves, they pivot side to side and up and down, and the brackets will swivel around the fork tube so you can dial these things in right where you want them. If you have any questions about these specific lights, there's actually an info link right up there in the corner. Click on that, it'll take you to the web page with these. It's going to have all the specs about them. If that doesn't answer all your questions, we've got a comment section right below. Let us know what you need to know, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, there's a link right down there in the corner. Click on that thing. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the new videos we're going to have coming up. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. I'm John with Cruiser Customizing. We'll see you next time.